Kurt Busch, Jeff Burton on the front row. 500 laps at Bristol. Enjoy the race. Kurt Busch leads the first 2 laps, but they're already side by side, as they will be for a lot of time tonight.
And that 41 car finally gets to the bottom of the racetrack. You know, he said, somebody please cut me some slack.
You see the different colors on the ticker tonight. We'll have that for you through the rest of the race to the chase. The guys trying to get in are in green. The guys on the bubble in yellow. The guys eliminated mathematically are in red.
And everybody's on the bottom right now. That's where, if you're going to run this place and be fast and be any good, you've got to run that yellow line all the way through the corners. If you get pushed out of line in this point of the race, like the 49 car, Kevin LePage is trying to find a spot to get down in, but you can't. It's the start of the race, and everybody is no tell. You could lose 25 spots in about 10 laps or less here at the beginning of the race because everybody's on the bottom.
Kyle Busch, now Ryan Newman by the 49. Jeff Green in that 66.
And even if it's your buddy, you can't let him in.
Oh, no, you can't.
Because, it's just like, man, I really want to let you in, but, 31 all up in Kurt Busch's bumper right there.
I think he wants those 5 bonus points for leading a lap badly.
Jeff Burton finished 42nd last week. Look who's running third in this line, Matt Kenseth. More on Jeff Burton from Dave Burns.
I asked about their final practice yesterday. This morning, Jeff told me they started out good, but the car went tight. We're going to have the crew take a big swing at it setup-wise to start the race. Looks like it worked. Alan?
Hey, Dave, this car that Kurt Busch is driving that he's trying to hold on to the lead with, the last time this car was on a racetrack was here when it won the race back at the end of March. They took it back to the shop. They covered it up. It hasn't been run since. Matt?
The guy sitting right there in third, the 17 car, Matt Kenseth, the same car that he dominated last fall, leading 415 laps. It's a concrete car, just settling in, seeing what happens there between the 2 and 31. Size him up, get ready to make his move. He's led 7 in the last 10 short track races.
Derek Cope has gone to the garage. If he is done for the evening, Jimmy Johnson will be 1 step closer to clinching.
Doesn't Arnie have anything to say?
He does, but we're making him wait.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is Busch going to give him the room?
Got to. And this is okay because Kurt Busch knows that he's going to lose 2 spots, not 25 spots. There's enough room in between Kenseth and Bobby Labonte where he's just going to lose a couple spots. Could have been a lot worse.
BP there, those 5 bonus points Burton wanted.
And I tell you what, they could be valuable by the time we get to Richmond, Virginia.
Looks like Victor's 25 cars got
flat tire, I think I heard him say.
Same side, right side tires, guys, right side tires.
He's on the front stretch.
Right front's flat.
Yep, right front is flat, BP, you're right. Just gets in the wall. Well, he gets in the wall. That's a little harder than it looks. Anytime you hit the wall here in Bristol, it's harder than it looks.
We were talking about that last night.
Yeah.
Kenseth in second, Busch in third. Bobby Labonte runs fourth. Then Denny Hamlin. Tony Stewart in that high groove. Mears goes by.
Yeah, you see the 41 car. He is trying. Reed Sorensen to try to get by him. Now Gordon's going to try to sneak up there and get as close to Sorensen as he can, so there's no gap for Stewart to drop down in. Although Stewart, he wanted to get down there. He's got him clear now.
Can't hold it down.
I mean, you're only clear for a second. It's like, okay, I got him clear. Oh, no, I'm not clear.
At lap 417, he'd have been clear.
Yeah. He would have been taken.
He'd have been taken. Yeah. Clear or not, he'd have been going down there.
Now Jeff Gordon in the 24. Gordon, a 5-time winner here.
And Stewart and Spotter, Stewart saying, find me a hole, find me a gap. And the Spotter's going inside, another one behind him, another one behind him.
It's time for Marty to chip in.
Yeah, Tony
Stewart, who talked to him this morning, actually talked to the team, and Greg Zipadelli, he said, you know, the car's not great on new tires. It's probably what we're seeing right now. But on old tires, that's where Stewart is the best. He runs very consistent laps, but a lot of these cars are maybe faster on newer tires than him. Talked to Jeff Gordon's team. They said the exact opposite. They would be pretty fast on the get-go, but what they really were seeking today was consistency, trying to be better on the longer run. That's where Stewart thinks he's good. Right now, though, he's having a tough time getting that car down.
He better be good on the long run, because the first 20 haven't been any fun.
When he start 5th, and he's now battling for 13th. 12th, actually.
He's going the wrong way.
Yes, he is.
And there's just, you know, actually, he's running pretty good up there. I mean, there's no grip up on the outside. Not compared to the bottom, but you see him slide up right there. You know, you're digging. You're doing everything you can to try to stay side by side, or at least get in front of the guy in front of you, but you're working your tail off when you run that high line like Stewart is. Here goes Sterling Marlin in the 14. He's going to get up beside him. I mean, Stewart's going to lose a bunch of spots here. He may be able to get behind Newman there.
Or not.
Or not. Now Schrader closes up the gap to the 21 car, so very, very frustrating when you're a driver right now and you're in Tony Stewart's situation.
And there's so much traffic out there, too. I mean, right now, cars all around this half-mile track with 42 cars out there running.
And Schrader just cut him some slack, gave him a break, and gave him the spot.
Whoa. J.J. Yaley went up the hill in turn 2. Able to recover, but it's going to lose a spot.
Or 5.
Reed Sorensen with Jeff Gordon trying to get inside.
And you'll see a guy like, 24, you see him pull down to the left. All you're kind of really trying to do is psych that guy out. You know he's looking in the mirror, and you're hoping that if you pull down to the left, he'll just hesitate a little bit to where he'll stay up so you can give him that bottom like that.
Had his hands full, Alan.
Yeah, I sure did, Bill, but I'll tell you what, the goal for Reed Sorensen tonight, get to the finish first. That's been the biggest problem he's had in his first few trips here to the Bristol Motor Speedway, both in the NASCAR Busch Series and the Nextel Cup Series. He said a top 10 tonight for me would be like a win. Marty?
Alan, this is a very delicate balance for Jeff Gordon. They know they have a good race car that can finish in the top 5 tonight. But Wally and Vinny, they also know they have to make the chase. They can't run all out. Kind of hard to be 95% at Bristol, but the team is definitely focused on the big picture. They would love to win tonight, but they know they have to make the chase. So I guess, BP, how do you be conservative in a place like Bristol?
You know, Marty, everyone keep talking about big picture. Where do you hide at this place, Wally?
You don't. You can't hide, BP. They'll find you.
They'll find you somehow, some way. They'll find you.
Sometimes they find you coming out of turn 4 on the last lap, too. Kurt Busch runs 3rd. An update from Allen.
Well, you know, he's not all that concerned about having fallen back 1st to 3rd, Bill, because the goal tonight, well, here's the conversation on Kurt's radio just before the green flag.
All right, boys and girls, it's the Bristol thing. Let's do it. First, finish first. First, you must finish. Something like that.
Yeah, so even though he's fallen back to 3rd, he knows this is a long race. Before you can worry about winning the race, you got to get to lap 500. Right now, Kurt lacking a little rear end grip on this car that they'll try and adjust. First chance to get on pit road.
And, you got 500 laps here, and this is really the point in time of the race. You're going to see guys giving each other a lot of slack. You're going to see that disappear as the laps start counting down because, right now everybody's just logging laps, feeling their car out. But trust me, there's going to be a totally different type of driving here in the last 100 laps.
Never a dull moment here at Bristol. 33 laps of commercial-free coverage to get you fired up for the Sharpie 500. Jeff Burton out front of Matt Kenseth, Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and Elliott Sadler.
In the mirror to see where Burton is at. Hopefully he's not getting too close to him, but he knows he's got to go.
Junior started 41st in this race a year ago and finished 9th, not having that same luck so far tonight. Dale scored in the 32nd position. More on the 8th from Matt.
Bill, no one really venturing off the bottom. Dale Earnhardt Jr., like Wally mentioned, starting to go on the aggressive attack, trying to work his way into the front, knowing that the leaders are 3 seconds or less in his mirrors from lapping him. He knew going in that he may have to take advantage of the lucky dog early. Doesn't want to do it. Junior won from 30 working that wheel.
Well, it's hard to be patient on this deal right here, Matt. I understand what you're saying, but man, he's, you know, the problem with the lucky dog thing is, I mean, if Burton gets by him, that yellow's going to come out right now because the lucky dog's going to be somebody else two laps later.
I'll tell you who else is in danger here is Carl Edwards. Carl Edwards just ahead of Earnhardt.
I'll tell you, Nemechek cut Junior a break there when he moved up the racetrack, letting him get by. And there you see Carl Edwards in the 99 car.
Greg Biffle has moved forward from his 35th starting spot. Biffle has made it to 18th now. But Edwards not having the same luck, Dave.
Now, he has not moved forward from his starting spot way in the back of this pack, Bill. No forward bite is the report from him on lap 12, and it really hasn't gotten any better for him. Wally, that's tough at this track when you can't get off the corner.
Yeah, really. Did you slide around this racetrack? Even if you have a good race car, it feels like you're sliding all over the place. But what's important here, you know, when you want to get into the corners, you want to get down to that bottom, bottom of the racetrack, almost on the apron. But then when you want to pick up the throttle, you want that thing to launch off the corner. It's just like a Top Fuel car leaving the line. And that's what you're looking for here at Bristol. If you don't have that forward bite, it's really tough because you just spin the wheels, you spin the tires coming off the corner.
Jeff Gordon rather, gets 8th place from Denny Hamlin, and Matt Kenseth trying to take the lead from Jeff Burton.
Well, Burton better get down or he's going to lose some more spots, and I don't think Kurt Busch is going to. Yeah, I guess he did get in there, but boy, that was good because Burton could have lost a bunch of spots right there.
And as they catch this lap traffic, we see all the cars behind them catching up. Kevin Harvick is back there. Elliott Sadler's move up to the 5th position, the 19 car.
Good run for Elliott.
What's going on with Burton, Dave?
Interesting to watch how Jeff's car is not as good now, and the 2 and the 17, just as the 31 approached them earlier, they're now going back by. That's because Jeff has reported that his car is just a tick tight in the middle of the corner, won't turn the way he wants it to in the middle of the corner.
And that being the case, you know, you've got to wait to get on the throttle. And the guys that are getting on the throttle earlier are going to make up a lot of ground on you.
There's one thing you can't do at Bristol. Wait.
Yeah, you cannot wait. Or you're just going to wait to get run over.
Again, the ticker at the top of the screen. We'll color code this for you for the next 3 weeks as we head for the chase for the next hookup championship. The green are the guys that are in or trying to get in. The guys on the bubble are in yellow. And the guys out of contention for the chase for the championship are in red. Derek Cope has been retired from the race. 42 cars continue. An update from Alan.
Bill, for people that were with us for our coverage of the NASCAR Busch Series race last night from here in Bristol, Kevin Harvick, driving his NASCAR Busch Series machine, had the field covered for most of the night. He came from the back of the field to do that. He came on his radio a little while ago, said, this car tonight comes off the corner as good as last night's did. That could be trouble for the rest of the field, huh?
Boy, it sure could.
And that was one thing I was mentioning about, we got trouble.
Sterling Marlin, high in turn 4.
And he has made some contact.
Get in here.
Oh, yeah.
Serious
Contact with the outside wall.
One thing I was mentioning on, noticing on Kevin's car, that left front brake rudder, pretty red on that 29 car.
Keep an eye on that. First caution of the night. 61 laps in.
Yeah, he definitely had a tire go down there. Right front probably went flat, and that's what happens.
Pit road will be open this time.
Now, is Junior going to play some of that pit strategy and fuel only?
Well,
or
the leaders are coming in.
Yes, they are. Matt on Matt.
Kenseth, an easy entry due to pit stall 43, and easy out because the 32 car is a lap down. Matt says he needs more grip. Down 1 pound of air pressure all the way around, Dave.
Jeff Burton's crew said, we'll do what the 17 does. They came in, so did the 31. Chassis adjustment, air pressure adjustment for Burton. Marty.
Jeff Gordon's going to come to his pit stall on the front stretch pit road, Dave. I can say that. From 13th to 6th for Jeff Gordon. Said the car comes to him late in the run. They were clearly very fast. What he wants is a little more drive off a pound out of both rear tires, trying to help him off the corners. Alan?
Kurt Busch's spotter and crew chief riding him very hard to watch his pit road speed all the way around turns 3 and 4, like we discussed just before the start of the race. Going to be a 4-tire change, an air pressure adjustment in the right front, and a track bar adjustment to try and help the rear end grip on this car. Let's see if he wins the race off pit road. He will do so.
Hey, Dave, they said anything from the 31 about Burton's car running warm?
That's what I was going to check on next, Wally. I saw that too. Spitting water out of the overflow like it was running hot. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Dave will check on that. You look at the Nextel race off of pit road, won by Kurt Busch, who picks up 2 positions. Under our first caution of the night in the Sharpie 500 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
They never told him they needed to move forward in the box, and they would have. But it is what it is now. He will restart all the way back in the 33rd position, 1 lap down.
Pitting out of the box, huge penalty. Kurt Busch leads on the restart. Jeff Burton runs second.
Now, Kurt Busch really cleared the 32 car. Travis Kvapil, 31 didn't. Kurt Busch has got about an 8-car length lead already on second place car, 1 lap.
You won't see much patience here.
No, and that's one thing, too. You know, that's what's real frustrating, too. When the guys are a lap down, they're trying to get their lap back, but you got the fast cars trying to stay in touch with the leader.
Burton is by. Here comes his teammate Harvick, and Gordon will try and latch onto Harvick's bumper.
And Matt Kenseth, those guys usually so good in on pit road, he comes out 5th.
And one of the guys that got hit with a speeding penalty last night might have been in his head. More on Burton from Dave.
You saw Jeff Burton's car overheating, the water spitting out of the near the front cowl there on top of the hood. And I talked to Scott Merrill, the crew chief. I said, is that normal? He kind of hesitated and said, yeah, kind of. Then they talked to Jeff on the radio. Jeff said it was 240 water temp when I came down pit road. I then turned on the fans to the radiator. It's now down to 230. Problem corrected.
For now.
Yeah. 240 is pretty hot.
Joe Nemechek was the lucky dog under the caution. Greg Biffle, having a strong run, has moved his way all the way up to the 10th spot. All 42 cars pitted under that caution. Derek Cope, the only car out of the race, he has retired.
What happens to these cars as they go around the racetrack? There's enough air going through the grill. They're going fast enough. The air goes through the grill and cools. But once they slow down to 35 miles per hour, the pace car speed, that's not enough air. Then they turn on the fans, and I guess Jeff had forgotten to turn on the fans.
Biffle started 35th, has worked his way forward. He's finished 12th or better in 6 of his 7 Bristol races.
Contact there between the 42 car, Casey Mears, and Scott Riggs in the 10.
Bobby Labonte running 9th in the 43 car. His teammate Kyle Petty has dropped back to 32nd. The last car scored on the lead lap. Biffle for position under Labonte.
Bobby said, you can have that spot.
Marty?
Oh, Bill, it's fun to see this 43 car run up front, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And Bobby told me this morning, he said, you know, we have track position to start the race. Our goal is to keep it all day long, but there's a battle for the lead. Speaking of track position.
Jeff Burton got it from Kurt Busch. Go ahead and finish, Marty.
I was just going to tell you the changes they made on their stop. They were loose off the middle, lacking some rear grips. They took a pound. A little bit better, because you know from the middle of the corner off, Wally, that's where you have to be good here at Bristol. You have to have that momentum to carry you into the next corner.
That's right, Marty. That's what we talked about earlier. You've got to be able to shoot, almost launch off these corners. And we saw earlier that Jeff Burton was better at the first of the run, so it'll be interesting to see if they made adjustments to the car where it'll make it stay up front.
Casey Mears in that 42 car. Sorensen in the 41. There's Tony Stewart at the 20. Just going on back around, 17th or so.
We see Dale Earnhardt Jr. there in the car behind Kevin LePage. Marty, what about Tony Stewart?
Well, we watched him falling back to the field earlier, guys. His car was extremely loose, and it took him a while. You guys are busy inside that car, aren't you, Wally and Benny?
Yes.
It took him a while to get back to the radio. Said, guys, I just can't keep this car on the bottom. They took a spring rubber out of the right rear, also made it an air pressure adjustment, trying to get that car to work on the bottom and stick down there. Matt?
Marty Dale Earnhardt Jr., the red car, 2 back from Stewart. Now, no changes on their last stop. The car has been free most of the race, but Junior expects the track to tighten up as the race goes on, so they're looking for the track to help fix this race car's handling as they get more rubber in this racetrack and it tightens up. Currently running in the 21st position.
We have our first speeding penalty on pit road of the night. Goes to Kyle Petty.
You're kidding.
No, hit with that earlier in the race. There's championship leader Jimmy Johnson. If one more car falls out of this race, he will clinch a spot in the chase for the championship. An update on his night from Alan.
Yeah, Bill, he started in 18th position. He's up to 12th after the pit stops. Jimmy talking about his car on the team radio a minute ago.
Okay, get through the center so good. A little difficult. It's a little difficult to get underneath a guy up off because I'm a little free there, but I'll keep adjusting my line. Killing them through the center. I mean, there's nobody rolling the center of the corner as fast as you. Just make sure you're staying off that brake. Right there towards the end of that run, you're starting to get a little hot in that front brake temp.
The plan for this team tonight is to not really take any chances, to race very conservatively until they get to lap 250. Once they get past lap 250, they'll see what kind of shape they're in. If they're on the lead lap, they're in good shape, they're going to go for it. Trouble.
That's turn 2, and that's Kyle.
You talked about him, Bill. You put the jinx on poor old Kyle Petty.
Sorry. You know I wouldn't do that to Kyle.
I know you wouldn't. Sure looks like contact turned him around, doesn't it, Wally?
Yeah, more than likely this is Bristol's on. We'll see.
Second caution of the race.
He's down underneath the 22 car.
Yeah.
Way underneath the 22 car. And all he was trying to do, he was trying to turn down off the 22 car Wimmer to make sure he didn't crash Wimmer, but took himself out.
Oh, man, there's the... Oh, look at all those leaders going by.
Burton Bush and Kenseth and company. Kyle goes around. Again, this is turn 2, second caution.
Man, oh man, Vickers almost hit him.
Under our second caution of the evening. This one for a spin by Kyle Petty. Jeff Burton is the race leader in the Sharpie 500. Some good runs here, but they haven't been in his last 2 visits to the Bristol Motor Speedway. Are Chevy drivers to watch. Checking on some speeding penalties here. Travis Quapple and Kenny Wallace. Too fast on pit road.
Interesting to see here, Mark Martin is the first car on that lower line trying to get a lap back.
The top 20 cars on the lead lap stopped.
Now, Mark, in this position, cannot jump the leader.
Right, he's got to wait for Jeff to make the first move, but boy, he could drive it in deep, and if he stays down on the bottom and gets a good start, doesn't look like he quite pulled it off that time.
Check David Stremme, the 40 car, going by Kurt Busch in the 2.
I guess he figures if he can stay with Mark and Mark get on the 31 car, he could get a lap back too.
Yes.
So he needs to stay on the bottom and try to get up with Mark.
Mark did not stop under that caution.
Didn't you say the top 20 cars stayed on the racetrack,
Right,
Bill?
exactly right. Martin is scored back in 33rd. 1 lap down after a pit row, for pitting out of the box, actually, earlier in the race.
And you can see Kurt Busch is losing some ground on the leader because he had to run Stremme that hard for those first couple laps.
And you saw him get on the brakes, as you talked about, when the caution came out.
Yeah,
so he didn't run into Burton.
He slid the left front. I don't know if he flat spotted it or not. Didn't look too bad, but
Kind of bunched up here behind Kenseth and Stremme.
Stremme and Gilliland. And, oh, what do we got going on here?
Michael Waltrip and J.J. Yaley.
Look like we're having a conversation of some sort.
We'll check into that.
During the qualifying show Friday, J.J. Yaley said, I hate this place.
He did. You're right. And I believe him.
Yeah, he was convincing, I'll tell you that. I thought Carl Long might have been on the apron of the racetrack.
There's Elliott Sadler in the 19 car, Greg Biffle in the 16. Sadler is in the 6th spot, Biffle in 7. Elliott Sadler giving that 19 car another strong run so far. For Ray Evernham, let's take you through the field. Start with Jeff Burton here today.
Jeff said that on that last run, his car was a bit freer, but he could still stand more. I guess these guys want it so loose, they're almost spinning out. As loose as fast, Alan.
Kurt Busch got off pit road first, but gave up the lead shortly after the restart on the previous caution to Jeff Burton. Kurt uses the words dead loose to describe his car. That means the back end is breaking traction.
Matt trying to chase him down at the 17 of Matt Kenseth. He says the car is neutral down in turns 3 and 4. But down in 1 and 2, the car is tight in the middle and loose on late exit, trying to give Robbie Reiser, AB, an idea of what the car is doing. So when they stop, how significant a change to make.
Kevin Harvick picked up a spot on the pit stop from 4th to 3rd. He's given that back up on the racetrack to Matt Kenseth. 29 car, not really, as is Kevin's typical custom when things are going well. He's not saying a whole lot on the radio right now. Marty?
Jeff Gordon running solidly in the 5th position. Allen says his car just a little bit too loose off the rear corners. And had a conversation about that with Steve Letarte under the last caution.
I'm tight right as I go to pick up the throttle. I'm a little bit tight. It doesn't want to come back down the hill on me. But then right after that, when I hit that bump, that compression, I'm real loose. Pretty happy. I mean, we're not bad. Kenseth's definitely better than us on new tires, but we're hanging right with them.
Jeff did say he's a little concerned about how this car will be late on the run, especially at the end on the old tires. Dave?
Communication so important with a new team. Here's the technical jargon that Elliott Sadler used with the 19 crew. Pretty good. Don't mess with it. 4 tires, no changes on the last stop, Matt.
Greg Biffle racing without any kind of safety net in his hopes to make the chase. Currently 12th. The standings coming in. No changes on the last stop. The car, he says, is good. This is his backup car. He wrecked the Darlington winner on Friday. Alan?
Kyle Busch started in 19th position. He's run up to 8th spot. Pretty good, says Kyle about his race car. They are watching the engine temperature. May have to pull a little tape off the nose on the next pit stop. Denny Hamlin, his team made an air pressure adjustment and a crossweight adjustment on his last pit stop. Hamlin now in the top 10, running in 9th, feeling like they have a potential winner tonight if they can make a couple of more adjustments. Dave?
Scott Riggs likes his race car, and he should. He started 23rd tonight, raced his way up near the top 10 before the first caution. They made some adjustments. Now he is 10. Marty.
Dave, Ryan Newman started 21st tonight. His worst ever starting position at Bristol. That didn't matter. Car started going to the front. It started out great on this run. Then Ryan came on the radio about 5 laps later, said, that's getting tight. Came on the radio about 5 laps later. Now it's way too tight, guys. So they got some repairs to do on the 12 car. Alan?
Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, continues chipping his way toward the front, being pretty happy with his race car. And just a word of support from down here in the Jimmy Johnson pit. All of the pit crew members on Johnson's Over the Wall gang wearing these stickers on their helmets tonight. You'll see one on that 48 car on the racetrack as well. Marty?
Alan, Bobby Labonte is trying to hang on to that track position as best as he can. Currently, Labonte's in the 13th position after starting 3rd, his best ever start of the season. His car is still loose, lacking a little bit of rear grip, especially off the corner. Matt?
The 2004 winner, Dale Earnhardt Jr., the water temperature, like some other drivers, having issues that climb to 240 degrees. He has moved since his last stop from 21st up to 14th, and there's caution on the raceway.
That's the top 14 cars through the field. The caution is out. David Gilliland is slow, and that's why. Looks like he's had contact with the wall. Now the lucky dog here goes to David Stremme, and you were watching his times while we were going through the field.
Well, I was just going to talk about it before we went to yellow. Stremme was not only, I mean, he was catching the 31 car. He was about 0.2 of a second faster every lap than Burton. So I don't know what he's got under him for the rest of the race, but that car was hauling the mail there the last 15 laps.
Oh, he passed Kurt Busch, he passed Martin, he passed them all.
He will come around to be the 33rd car on the lead lap.
Looks like Gillen just got loose getting off that corner, BP. And
Well, made contact with the wall, and let's see if we can see again.
just down on the bottom and got on the apron. Looks like he got on the apron. That really upset the car when he got on the throttle and hammered the wall.
Not easy being a rookie at Bristol.
I tell you,
It's not easy being a veteran at Bristol.
I tell you, he's in California. He's never seen anything like this before in his life.
He may not want to ever again.
He may go talk to J.J. Yaley.
Yeah.
Pit road is open. Here they come, Matt.
17 already in his pit box now. Kenseth says the car, no grip absolutely whatsoever. Robbie Reiser making another air pressure change on the 17. Dave?
Jeff Burton's crew debated staying out. They said, no, let's come in. We can stay out later. Another track bar adjustment, air pressure adjustment as well. Remember, Jeff said the car wants to be a little bit freer, a little bit looser. They hope to get it here. Jeff gets a cool drink, and his team gets him down and out of here. Marty.
Jeff Gordon will roll to the front stretch pit stalls, currently running in the 5th position. The car is awfully tight in the middle, lacking some front grip. He said, we're not bad, we're real close. Don't go crazy on these adjustments. What they're going to do is a pound on the left side tires. That's it. Alan?
Last time on pit road, Kurt Busch's team moved him up from 3rd to 1st. We'll see how they do this time. Going to be a 4-tire change, looking to help this 2-car turn better in the corner, but keep the back end under it, leaving the corners. Jeff Burton is going to get out ahead on Kurt Busch.
Don't you dig hard.
There's no room to dig hard down there. Take a look at the race off of pit road. Jeff Burton and then Jeff Gordon, I'm thinking. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick. The field has gotten the 1-to-go signal, coming around now to get the green flag in front of 160,000 fans here at Bristol. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, Joe Nemechek, Dave Blaney, Robbie Gordon, Elliott Sadler, your top 6. As we get ready for the restart, Coke invites you to drink it up and start it up. Elliott Sadler in the 19 car, a 2-tire stop.
So he, in fact, was the first car off of pit road. He beat the 31 car by changing those 2 tires.
Jeff Burton was first in class.
First in class, that's right. Much less time to change 2 than 4. Hello, Jeremy. I thought he was going to come down, and if he had up there with her, had been a wreck.
So we got to about lap 120 before the different pit strategies started coming into play. So Earnhardt Jr., who not that long ago was in danger of falling off the lead lap, is indeed the race leader.
I knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to put Jeremy in that 19th. It's Elliott. Come on, BP.
That's your mulligan, BP.
Huh?
That's your mulligan.
I got a mulligan. Junior getting those bonus points. There's that pit road strategy he was talking about.
He got it. Mark Martin just passed Tony Raines a lap ago. So now he is in position for the lucky dog. Get the yellow for to come out.
David Stremme, who was running so well to earn the lucky dog under the previous caution, back in the 30th spot.
My guess is he won't be back there long.
Not if that car stays the way it was. He was flying.
Mark Martin around his teammate Carl Edwards there. That's not for position, as Wally was talking about. Mark, the first car 1 lap down, now in pursuit of Earnhardt Jr. to try and race his way back onto the lead lap. And with Junior out front, the flash bulbs are very busy here at Bristol right now.
Mark is catching Earnhardt about 1/10.5, 2 seconds quicker every lap. And if he gets to Earnhardt, Earnhardt will just pull over and let Mark go. He won't.
That's right.
He won't race him that hard.
Earnhardt, Edwards, Nemechek, Blaney, and the 7 of Robbie Gordon did not stop under the last caution. Matt Kenseth did, Matt.
Bill, a great stop by the Killer Bees, but when Matt let the clutch out and make his exit to 32. Travis Quapple was making his way into his pit box. Matt had to wait probably 2 seconds. It cost him 2 spots of the cars that hit pit road. Robbie Reiser then got off his box, walked next door, and talked to the 32 team. Now the 32 team is going to show a lot of consideration. Travis is actually going to try to wait when he makes his entry onto pit road that Matt is already on his way out, so they don't have any confusion in the future.
We almost had a mess.
Boy, we did. Biffle and Robbie Gordon made some contact, and both cars slowed down. They caught even back about 15, 20 car lengths. I just knew we were going to have a crash.
Mark Martin up front inside of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and races his way back onto the lead lap. There's Mark in front of Jr. So that makes Mark the last car on the lead lap, scored in the 34th position.
You don't have to worry about being the lucky dog.
Kurt Busch, and who's in that 19?
I think it's Elliott Sadler.
Very good. Harvick in the 29, and Matt Kenseth trying to pick up some positions.
Then you miss one race and everything just falls apart.
Pit road here, getting back to Matt's report, very narrow, and there's just this intense desire to get off of there as fast as you can. And there's a lot of traffic on both the front pits and the back pits. On board with Harvick. He runs in the 6th position. Carl Edwards around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Change at the front. And remember, both of these guys are trying to race their way into the chase for the championship. Right now, Junior's in the 6th spot, Edwards in the 13th spot.
And they're giving each other a lot of room.
I was thinking the same thing, Wally. Junior said, okay, now there, I'm paying you back
Here
last
you go.
week.
Yeah.
No, what?
I don't know, I think Junior's just losing the handle on his car right now. I mean, I know he changed 2 tires, but that was Scott Wimmer who was a lap down. Just went by Junior.
Drivers never forget, do they?
No, they don't.
Scott Wimmer in that 4-car, Morgan McClure Racing here in Abington, Virginia. For years and years, that car was so fast at this racetrack. Dave, how about this 99 car?
BP, the fans don't forget either. I was riding around on a flatbed before the race for pre-race introductions with Junior. Cheers followed us. There was a kind of a trail of booze behind us. Guess who was in the truck behind?
Driver 99?
Yes, correct. The fans are still kind of deciding on this one, but a few of them still unhappy with Carl.
And in case you missed it, last week in the Busch race at Michigan, Earnhardt Jr. put a bumper to the 99 when it looked like Carl got loose coming off of 2. Carl crashed. Earnhardt won the race.
You sure those boos weren't for Marty? He was riding with Carl, wasn't he?
Oh, that's a good point. There's Carl Edwards looking for a win, looking for a way to get into the chase for the Cup.
I mean, when you see a guy coming up on your mirror that quick, there's no sense of trying to hold him off because he's gonna get impatient and put the bumper to you if he's that much faster. So you may as well just let him go, get back in line, try not to lose too much track position.
The next guy Carl's going to have to deal with is probably the 24. We'll see how well the 4 runs here.
Well, I think the 4's running pretty good too. Again, he was like Stremme was earlier. He's up there in the lead pack and he's running pretty good lap times.
Scott Wimmer in that 4 car, the first car 1 lap down. Update on the 99 from Dave.
And Bill, you remember earlier this year, the 99 crew had a crew chief change. Wally Brown, the current crew chief, was not even here. So I asked him today, did you get any advice from the other crew chiefs? He said, yeah, Robbie Reiser. He's been helping me a lot. And one thing he told me was, make something happen. They've done that now by staying out. Now they need a caution where everyone pits with them.
You would see Wally Brown checking everything out.
A caution right now would help those guys. The 99, the 8, the guys that stayed out. Elliott Sadler, who only took 2 tires.
Well, the 4 car looks pretty good. Sure, I mean, he's passing the 2nd place car right now.
Wimmer in position to be the lucky dog if we should get the caution. There's Gordon going by on the inside. Here comes Earnhardt Jr. and Harvick, and Carl is going to be going the wrong way.
should get the caution.
If we should get a caution. What did I say?
No, it should.
Yes.
It'll be when.
Oh, I see what you're I agree.
The junior got booted up the hill by the 29-17. Loses a couple of spots.
These guys are all on better tires right now than these guys that are running up front like Kenseth.
But I think,
Earnhardt. Kenseth's got 4 good tires.
But Earnhardt and Carl Edwards have the older tires. Go ahead, Benny.
but I think that junior and Carl Edwards both mission accomplished.
Yes.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, got to lead a lap, got some bonus points.
If they can hang here long enough, and when the caution does come out again, they'll all be, they'll be able to come in the pits with the leaders in the top 10 or 15 and get what the leaders are getting, and that puts them in a good position.
It also could work for Joe Nemechek, who's 11, and Robbie Gordon, who's 12th. An update on Kyle Busch from Allen.
Yeah, Bill, remember, he's one of the bubble guys trying to make the chase. He had a crash early in Michigan last week, lost 109 points of his gap on 11th place. Another early problem here tonight. On the last pit stop under caution, they let lug nuts loose on the left side. The 5 car had to come back down pit road. He fell all the way back to 31st place. You see, he's picked his way back up to 24th now. They've got time to dig out of that hole tonight, but that's just not the kind of thing you want to have happen when you're scrambling to make the chase.
Excellent point. Right now, Kyle Busch 10th in the championship standings, 78 points in front of Casey Kane.
Boy, up here of all places. I mean, give it to me at Fontana if you're going to leave a wheel loose or something. Not at Bristol.
Got to work through all that traffic again.
Well, Mark Martin was looking pretty good.
Boy, Mark, that surprised me. Mark thought he had a good race car for tonight, but he's about to put a lap down again.
Yeah.
And the guy that's right in front of him who loves this place, J.J. Yaley.
I detect sarcasm. Carl Long off the pace, heads for pit road. Update on Jeff Gordon from Marty.
Well, here comes that whole test of the patience scene for Jeff Gordon. Obviously, he has a fast race car. Many of these laps has been the fastest car on the racetrack. But how hard does he push it? He really can't gain that much. There's a good distance between him and Jeff Burton. So, Wally, do you push the car here, or do you play it conservative and think big picture? Remember, that's the plan for today.
I think he's doing right what he needs to do. He's just running good, consistent laps. Like you said, Marty, he's not in a lot of traffic. That's the safest place to be at Bristol. So just log laps right now. We got a long ways to go, and if he can just keep running and logging laps, I mean, he's sitting in a great spot. He's sitting in second spot. So I think he's doing right what he needs to do.
Mark Martin got around J.J. Yaley, and now race leader Jeff Burton around Yaley. Jeff Burton, 171 races since his last victory at Phoenix in October of 2001. He leads at Bristol. Gordon fans, another good side around Jeff Burton for the race lead. Jeff Burton gives up the lead to Jeff Gordon. 5 bonus points for Gordon.
Pretty impressive for somebody that's running 95%.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's patience.
Yeah.
You're leading when you're patient. That's pretty good at Bristol. Kurt Busch around Dale Earnhardt Jr. That's for 6th. So Kurt's up to 6th after starting on the pole. Well, I'll tell you, Earnhardt Jr. has done a good job on those tires.
He has.
And like I said, I think he's just waiting it right now. He just wants to go long enough to where everybody comes in at the same time, and he can get back on the same sequence as everybody.
Take a look at our AutoZone in the zone drivers. Here at Bristol, of course, Kurt, 5 wins in the last 9 races. Greg Biffles, who's had a strong run here tonight. Matt Kenseth, who won here a year ago and won the Busch race last night and comes in off the win at Michigan. Our AutoZone in the zone drivers. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th as we approach the 200 lap mark.
Carl Edwards, another guy just like Dale Earnhardt Jr. that's doing a great job with 2 tires.
I'll tell you what, the 6 car kind of falling off the pace a little bit. Matt, what's going on with the 6? Because you know, really talked about having a good car, but it looks like he's struggling right now.
Well, the expectations were high. They even ended final practice early. That's how good Mark thought the car was. But after the penalty, mired back in traffic. Now the car is tight. So now he's having to wait on the car a little bit to try to work his way up off the corner and then through traffic, looking ahead to their next stop to try to free it up.
When you saw Gordon working him over there.
And with cars all the way around the racetrack, when Jeff Gordon goes by him, the caution's going to have to fall in a lap or two for him to beat the lucky dog, because Jeff will lap someone else quickly.
Yeah, that lucky dog changes every lap in a place like this, and that's why Mark is running so hard. He's not pulling over and just giving it to Jeff, because he knows he's got to stay in front of him every lap he can.
About to complete lap 190. Most of the leaders pitted on lap 115. Earnhardt Jr., Carl Edwards, and a handful of others stayed out. Elliott Sadler took just 2 tires.
Mark slides up the racetrack a little bit, and with Jeff getting held up a little bit, that let Jeff Burton close up on the 24.
And also let the 4 car become the first car 1 lap down right now.
What,
right.
1 lap, right?
So Mark Martin with his hands full tonight. Wimmer's running well. He just mired back there in 31st. On board with Harvick.
I said Stremme was running well, and he's the next car to go a lap down. So
It does come and go here, though, on you. The changing track surface based on your pit strategy, your tires. Harvick around Mark. How about it, Matt?
Bill, it'll be Allen, but that's okay. I'll take it. Kevin Harvick and his team still saying his comments on the radio are his car feels just like last night's, which was good because he had a great race. Remember the key word of the night, clean. All those fenders, no marks, no dents, no wrinkles. Kevin says the car that wins this race usually is clean at the end of the night. So far, so good there.
Good run for Harvick. The average is 14th or better. In the next 3 races, he's in the chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. Jeff Gordon is the race leader, but Jeff Burton right on his bumper. 194 laps complete in the Sharpie 500.
Tire goes flat. So is Sterling Marlin.
Harvick third in the championship standings. Here's our first look.
yeah, that's just a right front tire going down. Whenever you see the car down on the bottom and it just shoots up the racetrack, that means you lost air in that right front.
I'll tell you, that wall, it's a safer barrier, and it is a lot softer, but it does a lot of damage. Let's listen and watch and listen. We listened to the tire go flat.
Yeah.
And we heard the impact.
Yep. 2 pops.
Neither of which Harvick wanted to hear. Being told that Michael Waltrip in the 55 car is the lucky dog. Pit road is open. The leaders will come. Good strategy paid off for Carl Edwards and Dale Earnhardt Jr. They've gotten themselves in a good position here. Matt
Kenton in. Now they're calling for a wedge adjustment on the left side. Also, air pressure change in the left side tires. The car tight, needs it to pivot better in the center of the corner. Let's go up pit road today.
Jeff Burton said this car is much harder to drive. They're going to go back on the track bar adjustment, but make a new air pressure adjustment, try to readjust the balance on this car. Just a tick tight for Burton right now. Marty?
Jeff Gordon took the lead, hits his pit stall, so the front end still wants to push on me, but that back end really wants to kick out, especially late in the run. Stopped short in his pit stall, that back end hanging out just a little bit. That is okay. Half pound in the left rear tire, Alan.
And Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, comes to the attention of his crew. They're going to make a 4-tire change on this car. Look for a chassis adjustment. There's the wrench in the right rear window as well. And see if they can pick up a couple of spots here on pit road. Waiting on Kevin Harvick to come back. They came in, just changed right side tires, sent him back out to stay on the lead lap if they could.
Outside 1, outside 2. Good job.
And I was wowing about the 24. 24 and the 40 car made contact. 40 was trying to get in this pit. Dave Stremme. They had just dropped the jack on Jeff Gordon. Gordon peels out. I don't think that's going to hurt Gordon. I just think hit him behind the right front.
Here's another look.
These pits are tight.
Not the first time you'll see it, not the last time you'll see it. Under caution here at Bristol. The inside not up to speed.
He just got hit. Yeah, Wimmer just got run into, and he's got all kinds of damage going on back there now. Not sure if that wasn't, I think it was Scott Riggs that probably got into him.
Burton runs second. Matt Kenseth is third.
Kurt Busch has moved back up to the 4th position.
Burton's car's been really good on the restart. So right after he's got fresh tires on his car, that thing is really fast.
And also want to point out that the contact between the 24 car, the other car involved, was Kevin LePage. Caution is out. Debris, a car slow on the backstretch. Scott Wimmer.
I imagine that debris is off the, well, looks like he's hit the wall.
Well, he got run into on the restart.
So we'll sort out the running order. We'll have an update on the 24 car after the contact on pit road with Kevin LePage. Caution is out of Bristol. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Pace car to pit road. Jeff Gordon, the race leader, had trouble on the last restart in that inside lane. Let's see what happens this time.
Look out, Mark.
An update on Mark Martin from Matt Yoko.
Bill hit it 3 times. You can see the damage to that left front corner. Worked on that also. They made 2 stops for tires so they wouldn't lose a lap. They made a significant track bar adjustment. Went up 3 rounds. As you see Gordon go to the high side, the 31 go underneath.
Yeah, Gordon kind of slid up to the high side.
He's not been able to keep that 24 car on the bottom like you thought he would be able to.
It almost looked like he was going to run into the back of Mark there as well.
I think that's what happened. He closed in on Mark big time. Boyd hitting Mark. He drove it up the racetrack. Unfortunately, he had Jeff Burton to fill that hole.
And now he's 4th. Marty.
Actually, under the caution, guys, he asked his spotter, he said, where's a 31 faster than we are? They said from the middle of the corner off. He said, you know what, if he's a lot faster than me, I may just let him go. So that may be a combination of him catching Mark very quickly and also wanting to let Jeff Burton go.
You know something? It's getting racy.
It's getting really racy. Kurt Busch takes a spot over from Kenseth. These guys are really bottled up right now because
And those two, 24-17, they've got a little deal here from the spring.
Was there a little contact there that time, maybe?
Pretty close.
they're aware of each other. Let's put it this way.
Well, anyway, I guess there was, because now Jeff is going to let the 17 go back by.
You really got to mix. You got the guys here racing for the lead. Then you have a lot of cars down that are, you know, a lap down.
But that 10 car, Scott Riggs, good run for him. He's fifth.
And fast.
In the meantime, off in the distance, Jeff Burton.
Yeah, Riggs isn't going to wait.
You can't. That's the thing. At this point in time, you got to go.
More on Riggs from Dave.
And Wally, how fun is this place to drive?
Hang on a second, Dave.
Well, let's answer that later.
Reed Sorensen.
No caution.
Leader coming to you here.
Ooh, he's got something wrong with that car. He's got a left rear flat.
Allen?
Well, Wally just answered the question. Flat tire for Reed Sorensen. He's been wrestling that thing around for almost 2 laps now, trying to get an opening to get down to the bottom so get on the pit road.
He's got...
Man, I knew that was coming.
Be careful here, be careful.
Knew that was coming. I mean, he was trying to keep, you know, he was staying in the gas. And Kurt Busch did get a piece of that, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Oh, and the 40 and the 10 are just banging into each other right now.
And that's going on down the backstretch. Sorensen's had 2 rough nights here at Bristol. Last night he was running second, away from everybody. It ended up in a hard crash. Now here's what we saw the first time.
And that tire's already flat, so that's probably what caused the spin to begin with. And then he sees the leaders coming. He doesn't want to go a lap down, so he's grabbing gears and he's going. Fortunately,
Just spun out there and Kurt ran into him. No lucky dog here.
Wow. Quapple was a lucky dog. Let's see what kind of damage that Kurt might have.
He's got some damage on that left front, on the hood, and a little bit on the fender. See the damage right there, but don't think that's going to hurt him unless it rubs that left front.
We'll get an update on that from Kurt Busch and company down on pit road. And we'll see if we can find out how Scott Riggs and David Stremme are getting along.
We still got quite a few laps to go. Ain't even halfway yet. I knew you couldn't add that much. 5. Yeah, you're usually pretty smart about that, but not today. The numbers got too big for the old Abington, Virginia boys. Oh, come on, I see how it is. Only your jokes are funny. That's right. Run out of fingers and toes.
Matt Kenseth keeping his guys loose as we go back to green.
Bob Jeffrey, the longtime spotter for Dale Jarrett, has went over and started spotting. Oh, who's smoking there?
Well, that's that 2 car. That's that fender that's rubbing on that left front from the contact that Kurt Busch just had with Reed Sorensen.
Wow. How long is that going to
Oh, trouble up here.
Hard crash.
Clint Boyer. Wow,
Yep.
yeah, it's Clint Boyer. Wow.
The left rear tire left the car for water, and there it goes.
The tire and the wheel.
Yeah, let's slow it down some.
Try to move it or what?
Nope, don't move it.
7th caution. And what were you saying when we were doing the starting grid about Clint Boyer needing a little bit of good luck?
He needs a break, that fella.
He said it needs a break, but not this kind. The whole wheel just came off. Looked like it came off the center, BP.
Over the car. I wonder if the lug nuts are.
Yeah, you would think.
I mean, it looked like the lug nuts came off, but
You can see he felt something.
And we saw that cracked wheel last night
Yeah.
in the Busch race. Pit road is closed for now. We'll take a quick commercial break, come back to Bristol. Jeff Burton, Kurt Busch, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt Jr., your top 5 in the Sharpie 500.
Second before the pit stop. They decided the fender was rubbing on the tire on that left front from the contact with Reed Sorensen. Roy told Kurt, we need to come in, get it fixed. You see them working there with the hammer. They're going to try and assess any other damage that might be under there and then retire the car and send him back out. But they're going to go from second back to what, about 30th or so, Bill?
Yes, sir. Currently 27 cars scored on the lead lap. One of the great things about Bristol is there's racing all over the track, and guys do, believe it or not, have a temper. Let's go back and look at that 40 and 10 battle. It started on the front stretch.
And this is under yellow now.
Right.
The 40 drives up and hits the 10. 10 comes back. Points his finger out the window. So there's 2 guys that are mad at each other already.
yeah.
Here's the onboard with Stremme. So the hit from the 10 came first, and then Stremme drove him back up. Dave, what do you know about this?
Well, Scott Riggs didn't really know what the 40's problem was, so he's a little confused as to why David Stremme, a lap down, should be racing him so hard. And remember, earlier, Riggs, running in the top 5, drove through Travis Quapple trying to chase down the rest of the leaders. He's got a very good race car, and they're very disappointed they had to come in and pit. But they've warned Scott, be patient. We still have a good race car. You can't win this in 10 laps, but you can get the spots back.
Thanks, Dave. Marty?
Clint Boyer's come from the infield care center. Of all the things to take you out of Bristol, that's kind of a bizarre one.
Yeah, never seen that one before. I don't know what happened. Greg Biffle told me something looked wrong. He thought it was flat, but it didn't feel flat, but it sure did feel wrong when it went off in the corner. And it's unfortunate, you know. Had the birthday scheme on for Jack Daniels. It was a cool paint scheme. We kept getting the car better and better, and I thought we were going to march away to the front there and get some track position, but unfortunately, our day is pretty much done.
Things can happen quick here, Bill.
You're right, Marty. Things happen quick here, and bad things happen quicker. Jeff Burton, your race leader, coming to get the green this time. That's Kenseth, Gordon, Earnhardt Jr., Edwards, Ryan Newman, 6th, Elliott Sadler, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, Casey Kane, the top 10. There are 28 cars now scored on the lead lap. We're 10 away from halfway.
I tell you what, that 8 and 99 are running in tandem tonight, aren't they?
Makes it interesting when they're near each other, doesn't it?
It does.
Well, the top 5 cars clear the 32 car, Travis Bobble, who's a lap down.
You know, unbelievably, Kevin Harvick is still on the lead lap.
Very fortunate. This is for 8th. Kyle Busch taking that from Jimmy Johnson.
I tell you what, that's quite a comeback from that 5 car, Kyle Busch, having to make that late pit stop for a loose wheel, start to rear the pack, and has worked his way back.
And that's what Scott Riggs is trying to do now. Riggs currently scored in the 20th position. There's Ryan Newman in the 12.
Lost a spot to Sadler.
Elliott Sadler, a former winner at this race, at this track rather, won the spring race a few years back. On board with Denny Hamlin. He's in 12th. How about that 19, Dave?
I want to ask Wally, did you ever talk to your crew under green while you drove around Bristol?
Not too much, Dave.
Yeah, and that's one thing that Elliott told his crew, his new crew on the 19 car. He said, I'll only talk to you under caution. Don't think it's because I don't like you, but because I'm too busy here at Bristol.
Wally didn't talk to him because he didn't like him.
Yeah, you're very busy. I mean, you are turning the car all the time. There's no rest here. You're a busy, busy guy.
Laps going by here in 16 seconds. Gordon runs 3rd. Earnhardt 4th. Edwards is behind him, on board with Earnhardt Jr.
Talk about how busy you are. You watch the steering wheel, it's not straight very long here. I mean, not even for a second. You're always kind of turning the car. You pick up the throttle in the center. You're hard on the gas right here.
You relax. Relax. Now, you're turning again. It's unbelievable just how physical this racetrack is on these drivers.
And you're getting thrown around 36-degree banking. I mean, you feel like you want to get thrown out the passenger side window. You can hear them working the throttle. You're hard on the gas here. You're off the gas. You just use a little bit of brake here. Then you're off the brake. You're picking up the gas a little bit. Then you're hard on the gas. And you do this a lot.
Earnhardt is 2.3 seconds behind race leader Jeff Burton in that 20 car. Tony Stewart running in the 23rd position, Marty.
And Bill, that's from the top 5 starting spot to 23rd. It has been an absolute struggle for the 20 bunch tonight. Tony has been extremely unhappy with the race car. In fact, they just pitted a few laps ago, believe it or not, put on 4 fresh tires. He cannot get this car to turn in the middle of the corner, and then it snaps loose off the corner as well. Hard to believe this is the same car that led the most laps here just a few months ago. Alan?
Kurt Busch pitted from 2nd place. He restarted in 27th spot just a little while ago. He's picked up a few since then as he goes by Tony Stewart. Just before the restart, Kurt said, all right, we're back in traffic. Let's take care of it now. Let's work our way back toward the front. You'll see how the car handles here as they go through this run.
Bobby Labonte in that 43 is another driver that's pitted out of sequence. He pitted with Stewart 2 cautions ago. This is back around 22nd.
And he loses a couple of spots to those 2 cars. And here comes Strimmy in that 40.
He might be driving mad. Strimmy is 26th. Nemechek 25th.
You know, the thing is about this place, you know, as you know, BP, you got about 40 cars or 38 cars that run exactly the same speed.
Yeah.
then you always have a couple guys that are really hooked up. They got really good cars like Burton and Kenseth, Gordon, even Kurt Busch. But it's so hard to pass here if you're running the same speed as a lot of other guys. When you used a bumper like right there.
So reputation has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
And if you qualified well, those guys see you coming up behind them, they say, okay, he's a faster car. They don't realize that Stremme is a fast car.
Jeff Burton is a fast car, and everybody here knows it. Just past halfway in the Sharpie 500. Jeff Burton, the race leader. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT. When we come back, we'll go through the field.
22nd or better tonight. He locks in his spot. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. making a huge gain in points. If he can continue on running where he is now, the car, though, still way too tight as it just pushes the right front through the corner. Marty?
Man, of all the races left before the chase, this is not the one Jeff Gordon is worried about. The one he's worried about, Richmond. Told me earlier this week, we just haven't been good at Richmond in the last few months. Right now, Jeff Gordon's pretty good, especially when he has clean air. When he's in traffic like he is right now, car's a little bit too tight. Dave?
This is a must-win race for Carl Edwards. Remember, he came in out of the chase 244 points. He's only made up a little ground, but he's moved himself towards the front, which he has to do. Behind him, Elliott Sadler, his job was to get this team back in the top 35 in owners points. He did that last week. Now it's just building momentum for 2007. Looks like they're doing it. Marty?
As the run goes on, Dave, Ryan Newman gets better. Heard some encouraging words from Roger Penske a little while ago. Said, it looks like you have a good horse out there. Ryan replied, yes, sir, I do. A little bit loose right now, lacking some rear grip. Alan?
Kyle Busch recovering from that pit stop error earlier in the race quite nicely, thank you. You might say he's all pumped up. He's been working out with a steering wheel shaped weight during the week to build up his forearms to be all pumped up for this race, Dave.
Alan Casey Kane also trying to race his way into the chase, came into the night 11th, trying to get Dale Jr. in 10th. His car has been pretty good. In fact, on the last run before they came in for stops, it was the best it's been. They don't expect to change it much because Casey likes the way it is now. Alan?
Jimmy Johnson's team talked about getting to lap 250, the halfway mark, in good shape and on the lead lap, and then being able to take a shot at a good night tonight. They've done that. A clean car on the lead lap in 10th place at halfway. Denny Hamlin, his crew keeps telling him he's one of the best cars on the track, one of the fastest cars on the track. Problem is he's back in 11th place right now. They continue to adjust on this car. Hamlin needing a top 10 finish tonight to secure his place in the chase. Dave?
Hey, Weber, did I tell you that Scott Riggs still had a good race car?
Yes, you did.
He restarted 20th. He's all the way up to 12th. He is on a roll, and they are doing very well with that Evernham Motorsports car. Not the one you always talk about. Scott Riggs quietly making a noise here in Bristol. Right behind him, next in the order, Robbie Gordon. On the last stop, they made no changes to that chassis. No air pressure adjustments or anything. He really likes the way this car is racing. And as for Dave Blaney, well, how did he get up there? He pitted on lap 88. He stayed out on lap 115, and then they hit on something. They made a fender change when they came in on lap 204. Just a little tug here and there, and that car lit up for Dave Blaney, Alan.
All of the teams have a computer on their pit road from NASCAR timing and scoring. It's connected to their system. It shows them the lap times on every car in the field. Well, Kurt Busch is one of the very fastest cars on the racetrack. Just took 15th position away, digging his way back up through from the pit stop, Dave.
Casey Mears is running 16th, struggling just a little bit with that handling. His complaint is that the car has been tight, and his next complaint was that the car is tight. Just can't seem to turn it in the middle of the corner all night long, Marty.
Dave, Dale Jarrett coming to life in the second half of this race. Started 32nd, currently running 17th. Said he had a vibration when this run started. But the longer he went, that vibration went away. That's not supposed to happen, is it, Alan?
No, sure not, Marty. Kevin Harvick is doing something that's not supposed to happen as well. Remember, his car had the right front go down and hit the wall at lap 202. No major damage to the car, which is pretty darn lucky here at Bristol. Marty?
And while we're talking about Dale Jarrett, Ken Schrader went around him with a fast race car, especially on these old tires. The car has gotten better all night long, just not in the track with that secure feeling that he would like to have. But the car's pretty fast late in this run. Matt?
After a disappointing run at Watkins Glen, Greg Biffle bounced back last week in Michigan with a 7th place finish. Start of the night, 12th. Mathematically still a shot, 189 points out of 10. Had issues again tonight. Even bounced off a teammate, Marty. It's just too tight in the center and too loose on exit. He's just trying to hang on to it.
Matt, Bobby Bobby Labonte was hoping to keep that track position he started the race with, but he has not been able to keep it. His car is way too tight. As for Tony Stewart, 24th on the racetrack right now, just cannot get that race car to turn and stick on the bottom of the racetrack. Phil.
Thanks, Marty. Yes, Stewart right now scored the first car off the lead lap. There are 23 cars on the lead lap. The last car in line, Martin Truex Jr., right there in front of Jeff Burton. A number of cars are one lap down. 2 cars are out of the race, Scott Wimmer and Derek Cope.
Boy, Biffle looks like he is struggling in that 16 car. He's got Labonte and Truex right now boxed up behind him. Now Biffle moves to the high side and says, go. And I'm crashing every lap.
Sorry about that. As we go through these points, look how close this is. And then look when we get to the 11 through 15. Edwards has gotten past Biffle. And these guys here, Kane, Edwards, and Biffle, have an opportunity tonight to really get themselves back into it, depending on how the guys in front of them, Martin, Hamlin, Stewart, continue to race. So the next 200 laps could be critical for these guys trying to make the chase for the championship with 2 races to go. Not that it's going to lock them in, but it could give them new life going to California next week and then to Richmond. Jeff Burton went by there?
Yeah, and Biffle didn't want to let him by, but Biffle's just going to finally let him go. It looks like Greg's got his hands full in that 16 car right now.
That's how you crash at this racetrack, trying to race with a car that's handling that badly.
See Tony Stewart there off the lead lap. Jeff Burton is the race leader. Drives for Richard Childress Racing. It's been a remarkable season for RCR. But one of their goals is to get Jeff Burton to victory lane. Can they do it tonight? With cockiness, he says it with confidence because that's where he believes he can be as a driver and where the equipment from RCR can be now.
Well, he's been there before.
Right.
I mean, he knows how to win races, and he didn't forget how to win races. So you just got to get yourself in the right situation, and Burton finally has. And here comes Matt Kenseth. He's gaining on the 31 car a little bit.
Matt.
BG not only with the help of some lap traffic, but Matt Kenseth says the race car is pretty good. Just a little tight now in the center of the corner. Said that about 9 laps ago. We're about 35 to 40 laps, and when that window opens, when they could go the distance from that point, we'll see maybe some crew chiefs pulling some strategy, maybe gambling a little bit as soon as that window opens. If we get that caution and hit pit road. Remember, Kenseth won last night, went a long distance on his tires. Maybe they'll do it again tonight.
On board with Burton. Go ahead, BP.
That 17 car is getting closer. Burton now is having trouble getting by the 43 car. I don't know if that's so much the trouble, or his chassis is starting to slow down. Here we go. Edwards underneath Gordon for 4th spot.
Every position so critical to Carl Edwards. More on the 24 for Marty.
fellas, it's amazing how little of a change can change these race cars. On the last stop for Jeff Gordon, all they did was put a half pound in the left rear tire, and the car has gone away. It's tight, especially in traffic. Gordon is struggling with that, and all they're going to do on this next stop is put that half pound back in that tire.
New leader, Matt Kenseth. Got around Jeff Burton, and now you have to believe Burton's car is not as good.
Tight on the long run.
Tight on the long run. And that's what we've been on, over 100 laps.
The bag comes around on it too, but just that roll in the middle is good.
I think that's what I saw a moment ago. As he came off too, I think he had some wheel into it, and that threw the back end out. And the car being too tight is what caused that.
Yeah, the car, it's pushing first, then it goes to a loose on the exit of the corner.
I'll tell you something to be concerned about. When Matt Kenseth gets out front in Bristol, he's usually out there for a long time. Won this race 1 year ago. Won last week at Michigan, won the Busch race here yesterday. Matt Kenseth leads Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt Jr. They're the top three in front of Carl Edwards and Jeff Gordon. On the edge, perhaps, of their fuel window. Matt Yoakum.
Bill, the Killer Bees go over the wall. Matt Kenseth says the car just needs to be freed up. It's way too tight in the center of the corner, even though it was really good at the end of that run. Besides the chassis adjustment, Robbie Roger calling for a huge air pressure adjustment in the right front.
Jeff Burton is on pit road for the 4th time tonight. He said the car loses the turn, but the back pops around in the center, so you can't mess with the center. What they'll do is they'll lower the track bar just a little bit, make an air pressure adjustment, also clear the windshield for Burton, and send him on his way. Marty?
Jeff Gordon fell from the lead to 5th, Dave, during that run. The car, no front grip, tight, especially off the corner. They're going to fix the right front fender where he made contact earlier. Take a pound out of the left rear tire. Alan?
Just before the caution flag, Kyle Busch had contact on the track with another car. Thought he had a flat tire. Said it hurt the drive off on his car. His acceleration off the corner. The crews had a look at it while they changed 4 tires. They'll send him back out. He was 7th when he came in.
That's a good burnout right there.
Yep. And the safety crew's all over it. Now here's why we're under caution.
Watch the 40 car. Blows the right front right here. Boom. And into the wall. Hit the wall hard enough to break rotors and all that other good stuff. So they had to take that car behind the wall, and they got a lot of work to do.
Martin Truex Jr. is the lucky dog. We'll check out the running order when we come back to Bristol with 174 to go. Still under caution here at Bristol. Here are the results of our singular race talk question. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought, too. I don't even know why they asked that question.
Bump and run?
Yeah,
any place,
sure.
anytime.
If it's for the win, yeah. Doesn't mean can't fight afterwards, but...
Well, Jeff Burton's out front. We know the guys at the shop have worked hard all week, all season, getting his cars ready. The guys here at the track also working hard all weekend. And here are the 7 guys over the wall that represent that 31 team.
Scott Miller, Bardstown, Kentucky.
Kevin Nervania, Suffern, New York.
Joe Zielinski, Andover, Minnesota.
Josh Yost, China Grove, North Carolina.
Jason Fowler, Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Aaron Smith, Denton, North Carolina.
Larry Hartle, King, North Carolina.
Rich Burgess, Dover Plains, New York.
Corinne Malden, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania.
I love that pit crew coach, Corinne Malden, don't you? Does a great job with them, there's no doubt.
I'll say, got good stops tonight. They've got Jeff Burton out front. Kurt Busch, a commitment line violation.
God, yikes.
And I'm sorry, there's more. Elliott Sadler, too fast on pit road.
There's more?
That's it for right now. There will be more. They get one to go. So that will really hurt Kurt and Sadler. Right now, Elliott back in the 20th spot.
Kurt Busch was in, I believe he was sitting in 12th or 13th.
Right, he's just going down the computer here as we're watching. So he drops to the back of the longest line as well.
Which is going to be tough now. We got a lot of cars a lap down, so we've got basically, it's like the start of the race.
Right.
It's
double file
and deep.
And something else to keep in mind here is that depending on the number of caution flag laps we get between here and the finish, somebody might try it.
I agree with you. 170 laps, and there's going to be cars because we're to the point now that, okay,
it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Tony Stewart a lap down in that inside lane. And while they get up to speed here, Matt Yoakum gave us the report from pit road.
Oh!
Kenseth trying for the lead. Man, stop. Matt gave us a report that Mark Martin's very unhappy with his car, that's saying there's something definitely wrong with it. Mark back in 31st position after thinking in the pre-race show he was going to have a big night. Looks like Jeff Burton's car might be a little bit better than it was last time we saw it.
Well, like I said, he's always good right after the restarts. And they've been adjusting that car, and it's been better the longer it runs.
I think Matt Kenseth made that one shot. He gave it a shot. Okay, I didn't get the lead, and I'm going to sit back and ride and just wait for 31 to slow down or come back to me, or then 100 laps from now, I'll go back up and try to take the lead again.
Might have been sending a message. I'm still back here. Don't forget about me. Gordon's back in 4th. Kyle Busch in the 5 car is 5th. Jimmy Johnson, Casey Kane.
Yeah, these guys are stacked up, trying to find places. You got some slow cars on the high side. You got some fast cars on the high side. Everybody's mixed up in different lanes right now. So these guys have their hands full trying to get through traffic. See Casey Kane there.
And he needs those positions. He's 70 points out of 10th right now, but he's going to lose a spot to Newman. Maybe. Cars in front of them, Jimmy Johnson. An update on the championship leader from Allen.
Continue to adjust on this car, Bill, trying to help Jimmy cut better through the center of the corner. Also, from time to time, Chad Knaus reminds Jimmy to take care of the brakes. Still a long way to go in this race, and a lot of brake needed to get to the finish.
Oh, close racing here between Newman and Casey Kane.
I'm impressed with Casey Kane in that 9 car staying up there as well as he had. Dave?
Crew Chief Kenny, and I'm looking at it now, Kenny Francis, sorry, lost him for a minute there, told me this is very nerve-wracking trying to race Casey into the chase. But they've been working hard on it as an organization and feel that all 3 teams have contributed to keeping the 9 up front today. Just a little bit loose on the last run for Kane. Marty?
Ryan Newman had 2 issues on that last run, Dave. He had no rear grip in the middle of the corner and no front grip coming off the corner. He radioed to Matt Moreland and said, don't worry about the middle of the corner, just fix that tied-off condition. That's really all I'm worried about. Pound on the left rear tire, hoping to get that car to turn just a little bit better off the corner, Alan.
And let's talk a second about Kevin Harvick, 3rd place driver in points starting tonight. Remember, he had the tire problem and hit the wall back at lap 204. Under the last caution, his crew chief Todd Berrier told Kevin, let's just keep doing what you're doing. Your lap times are good. We'll get our track position back, and then we'll go racing for the finish.
See how that works out.
It's hard to believe that this 29 car of Harvick has something to race these leaders with.
I know. You're absolutely right, PP. He hit the wall pretty hard. He's sitting in the 12th spot right now. These guys are packed up. Well, I mean, Biffle's car looks ugly tonight.
I'll tell you,
And it's ugly, and it's passing the 20, I think.
Yeah.
So what's that tell about Stewart's car?
But you talked about Riggs early in the race. He has really fought back, had to make an unscheduled stop, even though it was under caution. He worked his way back to 7th in that 10 car. Stewart continues to struggle, Marty.
Well, the day's actually gotten better for Tony Stewart, Bill. They had worried about that loose off condition, no rear grip coming off the corner. They actually have that fixed. Their biggest issue now, tight in the middle of the corner. Tony has a fast car. Problem is, he's got a long way to go to get that lap back and get back to the front. But if he does get there, he can run it with him.
And right ahead there, you can see the 16 of Greg Biffle. Now his car been all over the spectrum tonight from tight to loose. Just cannot get a handle on it. That's been pretty much the way his weekend has gone when he slipped in someone else's oil and wrecked his primary car on Friday. The Biff knows after finishing 2nd last year in the hole they dug themselves this year, every race was important. He can't afford to have the finish he is going to have tonight and still have a shot at making the chase.
You're exactly right, Matt. Exactly right.
There's Riggs. He's looking at Carl Edwards. He wants to take that spot away.
Edwards is 6th, Riggs 7th. Edwards doesn't want to give up any spots. Can't afford to.
Can't afford to, no.
And Scott's got a very good race car.
And one thing about it, his spot, the Carl Edwards spot of Bobby Hudson, will tell him, look, now that 10 car is really fast. If he starts pushing you, let him go. Dave?
BP, this is the same car they raced here in the spring. He was actually tagged by the current race leader, Jeff Burton, and they finished 41st after repairs. They took that car home. They basically put a new back end of the car onto the 10 car and brought it back to life, and it's obviously still very fast.
Certainly is. And they've really fought back. He's passed a lot of cars tonight. A lot of them he's passed twice. Jeff Burton has led 100 laps for the first time in 2006. He's punched the 5 bonus points for leading the most laps. Will he lead the last lap tonight at Bristol? Michigan last Sunday.
Well,
wanted to remind everybody that this was a good race team, and you know, this happens to everybody, and today was our turn, and you know, we're not going to get down about this. This is nobody's fault. We all do this together. I wreck race cars. We break engines. We do stuff from time to time, and we'll just keep fighting, and you know, we'll come back and try to win some races.
How about this car? What's up with the 2?
Wow, look at that, putting a lap down on Kurt Busch, the 2 car, one of the fastest cars all night.
Well, remember, he had the commitment line violation, had to restart at the tail end. Dave, you got more on the Burton deal?
Yeah, I just spoke to Danny Lawrence, the chief engine builder for Richard Childress Racing, and I asked him to write down, because it's so loud here to talk, what the issue was last week. He wrote down, broke a roller on a rocker arm, dropped a valve, and then he wrote the word bad and underlined it, pointing to himself. They fixed their problem, though. He says, going forward, we think we've solved the issue with that. Shouldn't have the same problem, knocking on wood, going forward.
And Jeff Burton is a true team leader. He called all those guys in the garage together after they were out of the race at Michigan while the race was still going on, got his guys all huddled around him, and that's what he was talking about in that soundbite. Just wanted to remind everybody, we will have some bad luck and some bad races, but we're a good race team, and we've got a really good shot at making the chase for the Nextel Cup championship. As they run now, Burton 4th in the championship standings.
And not just that, but they're going to win races. I mean, you keep running like this, eventually you're going to start winning races again.
Benny, I tried to fill in for you last week, and I almost forgot to do it. But this week, you're back, and I need you to do that one task you must do.
That's right. Is it time?
It is now.
Please cue the duck.
Time for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac!
Who is the last driver to win consecutive Bristol night races? Obviously, if Matt Kenseth wins tonight, he'd be the most recent. Who is the last guy to win back-to-back night races?
Kurt, but I don't know.
I think you have to go back a little further than that. I think it might be somebody that drove a 3-car. Let's see.
That's a long time back. That's almost 20 years ago.
Dale Earnhardt, 1987 and 88.
Aflac!
Man, he had some great races here. Had some great races that he won and some great races that he didn't win, as a matter of fact. Jeff Burton trying to win this one, but Matt Kenseth is trying to win back-to-back night races at Bristol. On board with Michael Waltrip.
JJ was just trying to get out of the way. We didn't get out of the way fast enough.
Pit road will be open. Guys on pit road just about 50 laps ago. Sadler was running 14th when that happened. Here come the leaders. Matt Yoakum.
Could be the last scheduled stop for the night, Bill. Kenseth said the car is better from the middle to the end of the run, whereas the 31 of Burton better at the beginning of the run. The car still too tight, won't cut like he needs to. Left side tires going on. Good stop today.
Jeff Burton was asking, come in or not. Scott Miller said 48 laps on the tires. That's enough. Let's come in now. And I don't think this will be the last time we stop. Track bar adjustment, car just a little too free at the end of that run. Marty?
Dave, at the end of the run, Jeff Gordon was the fastest race car, running in 4th. He said, we're gaining on it, but we need a little more grip coming off the corners, actually a little more front grip. Said the car needs a little bit too tight. Upward and around on the track bar, Alan.
Kyle Busch said he couldn't attack off the corner like you need to pass cars here at Bristol. They're making a chassis adjustment to try and help him do that. 4-tire change, looking to make as smooth a stop as they can and get the track position they can, because this may be their last pit stop of the night.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Alan. We'll see how it unfolds. Looked like Dale Earnhardt Jr. might have won the race off of pit road. He did. So we'll check out the running order and set the stage for the last 100 laps of the Sharpie 500 when we come back to Bristol on TNT. Field less than half a lap away from going green. Here's our Craftsman pit summary. An outstanding pit work by all three of those teams, but Earnhardt Jr., according to Matt Yoakum, 12.8 on the stop. And they have the 8 car in front.
Biffle, the 16 car, is a lap down, trying his best to get in front of Junior. Is not going to work.
Well, he's got his teammate right there on the outside of him, so he has to be careful. Kenseth in that 17. The 16 Piffle teammates for Roush Racing.
Whoa. Kenseth gets into the corner deep there behind the 8 car. Looking out the back of Earnhardt's car.
Earnhardt Jr. led earlier in the race. That's because he stayed out when most of the leaders pitted. Now we'll see how good he is out front on 4 tires. 4 new tires. We watch the leaders and check with Dave.
We hear real quick from Elliott Sadler. Elliott, what happened?
Joe Nemechek just run over us. I guess he didn't know I was there. It's a shame. We had a top 5 car all night long. Got caught speeding on pit road, which put us back, but the Dodge dealers, Dodge Charger was fast tonight. It's just a shame.
It is a shame for him, and he is right. They had a very good race car.
And we can also report that Kurt Busch, who started on the pole, well off the pace. Did you watch this battle? This is for 4th. How about the 2, AB?
The car is popping out of 4th gear. He may come down pit road and have a bungee cord put inside the car to try and hold that shift lever in 4th. Wally, you can relate, it's a little hard to drive Bristol with one hand while you're holding it in gear with the other.
It is, Alan, and I've actually had to do that here before. You come in, and here comes the spot. Kyle Busch gets underneath Jeff Gordon for 4th spot. But what they'll do is they'll take a bungee cord, they'll hook it to something behind the seat or whatever. When you put it into 4th gear, you hook it so it holds the shifter back into 4th gear.
Benny, here comes that rookie again.
I'm telling you what, this Denny Hamlin has been probably the most impressive driver I've seen this year. I kept saying, well, he's a rookie. He's going to have trouble here. He's going to have trouble at Watkins Glen, at Infineon, at Bristol. And so far, I've been wrong every time.
He proved you wrong.
Every time.
He's working on the 24, Alan.
And BP, the thing that Denny Hamlin was concerned about most coming into this race was he felt like it was his job to make sure that they don't do anything crazy on the track. Drive smart was the phrase he used. My job to drive smart, make sure we aren't leaving anything on the track, but that we bring the car home in one piece. So far, so good, but this is Bristol. Still 100 laps to go.
Would you say in the countdown show you can have 499 good laps
and still get taken out?
This was one of your row 3 predictions, I believe.
You know, you've got a good memory, Bill. I can't remember what I said in the opening.
I know you work so hard on those things too. Rehearsal,
all that preparation.
Rehearsal's your favorite part, isn't it? Hamlin still on the back bumper of Gordon. Not missing anything up front. Kenseth still keeping an eye. Oh, there it did go by him. He just drove right up. Last time by was 0.3 of a second back.
What'd he say? Oh.
Well, take a look at it and see what happens. But yeah, Junior was running really, really good. His lap times are great. Let's take a look. It's down in the corner. Just got on the apron and just got a little bit away from him. Doesn't take much here.
So now Kenseth in a very dangerous position for the rest of the field. In the lead. It's out of Sorensen.
I'll tell you one thing, that guy in 4th place is no slouch.
Kyle Busch, VP?
Yeah.
Kyle Busch having a strong run, but not his brother. Behind the wall. Started from the pole, had high hopes, Alan.
And Bill, this may be the end of his championship chase hopes here. They have to replace the transmission on the 2-car. 4th gear has gone completely away. And this is going to be a bad finish for Kurt Busch that he just did not need.
Make that 3rd place car as a fast car.
And Jeff Burton, he looked up and went, He just pulled over and let him go.
What's up with Burton, Dave?
He radioed to Scott Miller. Did you make an air pressure change? Scott radioed back. No. Jeff said it's a real big change. This car is tight, tight, tight. They suspect maybe this set of tires didn't act right for him.
And that's probably exactly right, Dave. A lot of times you'll get a set of tires that just isn't quite like what you've been putting on all night, but boy, it just doesn't take much. You're only talking about 1/10 of a second. If you put a set of tires on and it helps you 1/10 or hurts you 1/10, it's huge here at Bristol.
Well, Matt Kenseth. Looking for back-to-back wins here at Bristol. Got around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Then it's Kyle Busch, Jeff Burton, and Jeff Gordon with 94 to go.
If we're going to make the chase, it hasn't been perfect tonight, but it's working out pretty well. Matt?
Circumstances sure have changed for Dale Earnhardt Jr. The Walt Smith-led crew got him out with a 12.8-second stop, like Weber mentioned. So the car was decent, just a little loose. Moments ago, he came on the radio to the car is absolutely loose. No forward fight whatsoever right now, just riding in the third position. Dave?
We started the night talking about how Scott Miller, the crew chief for the 31, needs to do smart things for Jeff Burton tonight. No risky things yet, but they need to decide whether they make a change on this car the next time or simply swap out the tires. Marty?
Well, Dave, as the lap count goes up, the lap times go down for Jeff Gordon. The longer they run, the faster they get. The question is, how much track position do they need to gain? That last adjustment on the car made the car better, but for team thinking big picture tonight, top 5 is just fine. Dave?
Like a lot of guys in this field, Scott Riggs grew up racing on a short track. It was called Orange County Speedway, just a few miles from his home in Bahama, North Carolina. It was slightly smaller. They ran shorter races, but it was a short track rhythm that Scott grew up with, and he's very good at it, Alan.
Well, Denny Hamlin's crew chief, Mike Ford, says he has not been handling this pressure of the race to the chase like a rookie. Said he's been very calm, very collected, very cool on the radio. Denny Hamlin running 7th now, looking for another top 10. That would be 6 straight, Dave.
And they had a slow stop in the 99 pit last time, inexplicably. Nothing really wrong, just slow. He was loose in the corner, loose off the corner, so they made a wedge adjustment to try to turn the car around for Cara. Alan?
Remember on Bank of America Countdown to Green, Jimmy Johnson told us this was a get-through-it night versus a go-win-it night. He's not had a lot of great luck here at Bristol in recent times, but he's running 9th, having a very solid performance, and looking to see this place in his rearview mirror, Dave.
Still watching those points for Casey Kane tonight. On the last stop, they made a track bar adjustment for Casey. His car wouldn't turn from the center of the corner off. That's where you need to set it up for these straightaways. Alan?
Under the last caution, Kevin Harvick's crew chief Todd Berrier told him to save brakes on the car. When they got to a window where he felt comfortable letting Kevin go all out, he'd let him know. Kevin running at 11th now, a nice recovery for the third place driver in points after an earlier problem. Marty?
Alan, this is about where Ryan Newman has run for most of the night, between 10th and 12th, but at times they're the fastest car on the racetrack. They just can't gain the track position they need. Last stop, his car had no rear grip. They went down on the track bar. Ryan has not said a word, however, since that stop, Bill.
Thanks, guys. Those are the top 12 here at Bristol. Schrader, Jarrett, Waltrip, Blaney, Labonte, and Martin Truex Jr. round out the 18 on the lead lap with 429 complete. Matt Kenseth out front and stout in the Sharpie 500 at Bristol. Wins the spring race at Bristol. Our Wrangler 5-star finishes, but Kurt Busch behind the wall right now, scored in 37th position after starting from the pole. Race leader Matt Kenseth by a 1.5 seconds over Kyle Busch.
Yeah, they're in heavy traffic right now, and really all it's about now is who's getting through the traffic the best.
And Kenseth is doing a pretty good job on it.
Yeah, it really is. He's getting through a little bit better than Kyle right now. Kyle may have the fastest car.
Jeff Gordon under Jeff Burton. That's for 4th. And Riggs has been doing an excellent job in that 10 car. He's going to get the position from Burton as well. Go ahead.
You were going to say what I was going to say.
He's been running fast laps, and he's been really unbelievably patient on that 24 car. He's driving you nuts.
Yeah, it's like I think he's got a better car than Gordon, but he hasn't laid the bumper to him yet. So he's been trying to wait for the 24 to make a slip.
I don't see a lot of smoke.
Oh, Elliott Sadler again.
Could be old out here. Turn 1.
Caution number 10. And just 56 laps to go.
Well, the last time he had an incident, they fixed it. I don't think with 56 laps to go, they'll bother.
I don't think he wants him to.
I was going to say, I wouldn't want him to.
There are 15 cars scored on the lead lap. Dave Blaney will be the lucky dog. That will put 16 cars on the lead lap.
Looks like he may have. I'm not going to say anything yet. I'll take another look.
Looks like an engine or an oil line or something came off.
I'll say something.
Pit road is still closed. On board with Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah, something broke or something let go on that car.
No yellow. Rod, caution's out. Stick it down, June. Get way down, way down. Good job, June.
He just crashed in his own oil or water, whatever hose or line broke.
Elliott out of the car. And okay, Kurt Busch returns to the track. Again, he is 38th, now scored 53 laps down. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here when they open the pits.
I agree with you.
And Matt Kenseth is in another one of those situations. Yeah. Very similar to Dover, where he won the race, where Robbie Reiser told him to come to pit road, and Matt said, no, our best chance is to stay out. But whatever he does, people are going to do the opposite. Pit road still closed. We'll take a commercial break, see what happens when they open it. Just 54.
The best this race car has been all night long. A steady stop. They had about a second and a half cushion because of some lap cars between themselves and Busch. Today,
all clear, all the way out, all clear. Go, go.
Jeff Burton is running 6th, but we show him to you because he's led 263 laps tonight. He said to his crew, this is when I need you guys. They're going to make a 4-tire change, make a track bar adjustment, try to get this car back to what it was doing, turning well and going fast. Marty.
Jeff Gordon says his car is just so tight in traffic, he needs a lot more help. They're going to put a pound in the right rear tire and take a half pound in the left side tires, trying to get the car to turn better, Alan.
They had run about 50 laps on that set of tires. That was the point that Kyle said his handling started to go away. Since there are about 50 laps left in the race, no changes on the car. Let's see where he comes out track position-wise against these other guys.
3rd or 4th.
Boy,
close.
And it got bottled up down there, too. Here's the race off of pit road. Matt Kenseth. Then Dale Earnhardt Jr. Carl Edwards and Kyle Busch will sort out the running order when we come back to Bristol. Gonna be less than 50 to go. Had early problems. Kevin Harvick has come back from this hit.
Reed Sorensen spins right in front of the leaders.
Kurt Busch got a piece of that. Clint Boyer looking for a wheel.
No, David Stremme right front in the wall he goes.
Stremme has hit everything tonight.
Kurt Busch behind the wall. Transmission. Elliott Sadler brought out one caution, and he also brought out the most recent caution. Everybody stopped. Ryan Newman in 8th took 2 tires. Matt Kenseth, Earnhardt Jr., Edwards, Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon. Here we go.
All right. Junior clears to 16 of Biffle. Well, Edwards on the high side. He needs to know he's got to go.
Racing his teammate there. Edwards gets around Biffle. Now Kyle Busch with Jeff Gordon behind him and Riggs, where he's been for about the last 75 laps. Looking at Gordon's bumper.
And I mean, this is really important, especially for like Kyle, who's had a fast car. He's got to get past this car. Now he's passing. Because now he's 1.7 seconds behind the leader.
And then Biffle slides up and blocks Gordon. And it's going to make him go around on the high side. Ooh. And not going to make it easy.
Oh, 5 goes by the 99 car.
That was for 3rd. Gordon under Biffle now. And Riggs will try to do the same. Denny Hamlin in the 11. How about Hamlin, Alan?
Bill, these guys have been working all night out on the track. They're hot, they're tired, they're trying to get to the finish, and yet they still hear from their crew chiefs. Be patient, like Ford telling Denny Hamlin, don't force anything, take care of the car. Marty?
Jeff Gordon in front of this group, Alan. He really wanted to take a big swing at the chassis adjustments that time, because the car just will not turn in traffic. So what they did, put a pound in the right rear tire, took a pound out of the left side tires. Jeff's really struggling when he's following other cars, but when he's out front, he's much better. He'd love to get around that 99, Bill.
Sure would, but Carl needs those points. Gordon's up high for position. And he's got it.
just gave him that spot.
That's for 4th place.
Well, Carl's got to be nice to everybody these days.
Well, that's true.
They're still watching him.
Fined $20,000, placed on probation until December 31st. We're running into Earnhardt after last week's Busch race at Michigan. Briggs has the position, and now Denny Hamlin.
And my best guess is that the 99 car is just not handling very well right now.
Carl's a nice guy, but he's not that nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Kenseth with Earnhardt Jr. in his mirror. But not very close, Matt.
Bill, Matt Kenseth has now led 8 of the last 11 short track races. He was 3rd here in the spring. Now, moments before the restart, this was conversation on the 17-team radio between friends.
Okay, kind of what you got there. 49 to go. I hear you. Thanks a lot, guys, for putting me here. I'll do everything I can do. That was our best round, so hopefully we'll drive like that again. Good job, you guys. So I'll do everything I can do here.
Matt Kenseth trying to pull off the weekend sweep for the first time in his NASCAR career. Meanwhile, the car right behind him, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he said in the last caution, whatever you did in my race car, put it back. I don't want to drive it like that again. His cousin, Tony Jr., said, we didn't change a thing. He said, we're just way too loose on exit.
Well, we'll see how the final 30 laps play out. Matt Kenseth trying to win back-to-back night races here at Bristol. 467 laps complete in the Sharpie 500 on TNT. 100. You see Junior in the red car. Budweiser Chevrolet behind Matt's DeWalt Ford. And this has been the best battle on the racetrack.
Yeah, you were talking about how patient the 10 was, but he did give 24 a pop there about a lap ago. Just a little shot. Hey, what, Dave? That 10's fast. If he gets past the 24 car, he may have something.
Yeah, but he asked the spotter, Jimmy Kitchens, hey, could you go talk to the 24 spotter? Jimmy came back on the radio. I talked to him, and Scott came back and said, well, then they must have lied back to you. Now, that means that Scott would like a pass by, but as I check my rule book, Jeff Gordon is under no obligation right now to actually let Scott by. Marty?
Well, Dave, just to let you know, there was no message relayed to Jeff Gordon on his radio. In fact, it's been silence on his radio. Nothing from the spotter or Steve Letarte, the crew chief. In fact, Letarte, when this run started, said, I'm going to tell you when it's 25 to go and 10 to go. Otherwise, you're on your own. That's what you drivers love to hear, isn't it, Wally?
That's exactly right, Marty. Just because they talked to the spotter doesn't mean the spotter went and talked to the other driver.
Oh, you're a kid.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, message delivered. Yeah, message delivered to who? The spotter or the driver? And then he's got Denny Hamlin's coming up behind Scott Riggs. So, I mean, Scott Riggs is in danger of losing that 5th spot to Denny Hamlin.
So he continues to work on Gordon. Riggs does. And Kenseth continues to pull away from Earnhardt Jr. Now a 2.5 with 16 to go.
As a matter of fact, Kyle Busch in the 5 car is closing in on the 8 of Junior.
He's had a good run tonight, hadn't he, BP?
Oh, he's been terrific, this 5 car.
And came back from the pit road woes that Allen addressed earlier.
I mean, Junior started in the back as well at the start of the race, but he only did that once.
Well, he used pit strategy to get himself in position, and then they've raced hard and pitted well since then. Kyle on his bumper now. And looking to the inside, and Earnhardt Jr. is going to go up and let him go by. Allen?
I don't know if Kyle Busch has enough time to get up and try and get Matt Kenseth unless he catches a caution. But what a night this has been for this 5 team, Bill. They had to have 3 perfect races, they said, to try and make the chase for the Nextel Cup. They came into this evening in 7th place in the championship, but only with a 90-point gap on 11th place. They've had a solid run. They've overcome a problem tonight, and next week they go to a track where they won 1 year ago.
Currently 4th in the championship standings.
Denny Hamlin is on the back of Scott Riggs.
Is Denny going to be as polite as Riggs has been?
No.
I think I'll vote for Wally, with Wally.
Figured you two would team up against me. Again, the ticker at the top of the screen. Green shows the guys currently in the chase. The yellow, the guys on the bubble. The red, the guys eliminated. And right now, Kurt Busch is mathematically eliminated from making the chase as they run right now. Less than 10 to go at Bristol. Kyle Busch has knocked about half a second off the lead of Matt Kenseth.
See, Kyle Busch is 1 point in front of his teammate Jeff Gordon. He's gained 3 spots tonight. Jeff has gained 1.
And that's why Jeff Gordon is not letting the 10 go by.
And Mark Martin has lost 6 spots tonight.
In North Shipping, man, like Dave said, there's nothing in the rule book that says you should let him by. No question about it. I mean, you're 15, 20, 25 laps to go. Jeff Gordon he's fighting for that position as well. So it's not like Jeff's really in the way. Scott might have a little bit faster car, but he's got to figure out how to get around him.
Race leader Matt Kenseth. It's Tony's story. He just put us. Tony's now scored 2 laps down. 29th for the 20 bunch. This will be big for Kenseth and Robbie Reiser and those guys.
He's got about a 1-second lead on Kyle Busch, but if Michael Waltrip were to make things tough on him, it wouldn't take long for that 1 second to evaporate.
Down the backstretch.
Like I said, if Michael and those guys makes it tough on him.
I'll tell you what, Bill, I think you said it in Michigan, and you're right. These guys, everybody's going to have to race the 17 car for the championship in the last 10 races. These guys are really on a roll right now.
If you think that driver in that 17 is determined, that crew chief, Robbie Reiser, is just as determined. They were racing rivals. We've talked about it before. Racing rivals in Wisconsin. When Robbie needed a driver to replace his driver in the Busch Series, he went and called Matt Kenseth. Kenseth brought his helmet and his heart, climbed into Robbie's cars.
And it's finally, he gets up underneath Jeff Gordon. 10 car. Oh, and they're rubbing on each other.
Because Jeff is going to lose 2 spots if he isn't careful, not only to the 10, but the 11 as well, Hamlin.
Might lose more if they wreck. Working the last lap at Bristol.
Wow, that was a good move on Scott Riggs' part. Did a really good job there. Here he goes.
Matt Kenseth wins the Sharpie 500.
Jeff might have held on for that spot.
You guys are awesome.
Computer says he did anyway.
I bet we can go back and watch.
Yep.
Matt Kenseth wins the race and has clinched a spot in the 2006 chase for the Nextel Cup Championship. His 4th win of the season, his 2nd consecutive win in the night race at Bristol. And the last guy to do that was Dale Earnhardt. Talked about it earlier in the Aflac trivia question. His 14th career win. Matt is with a very happy crew chief.
And Bill, Robbie's watching his driver burn down those tires in the front stretch. Robbie, what's it mean to win this race back-to-back?
I don't know. For this race team and DeWalt and all the people that have helped us, it means everything. This thing's really clicking right now, and you know, all the families that support this race team every week, I mean, I can't thank them enough.
Last year you were peaking, just trying to get into the chase. This year, a whole different situation as you're locked into the chase.
Well, you know, if you look at the whole season, that we've had great race cars, and that goes back to all the guys in this shop that support this race team and build us great cars, and the engine department and everybody down the line. I just can't say enough for the great job they're doing.
Back-to-back wins here in Thunder Valley, Bill.
8th win for Roush Racing here at Bristol. His 5th victory in the night race. Matt Kenseth celebrating on the front stretch with his crew after the burnout. There's the victory leap. He's got to get to victory lane. We'll catch up with him there when we come back to Bristol. Flash bulbs are popping here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Matt Kenseth still trying to find his way to victory lane so the celebration can officially get underway. Scott Riggs and Jeff Gordon talking it over.
So what's the deal on the 99?
They raced hard. Marty.
And that conversation started with a smile, but wasn't so good in the middle there. What was that about?
Well, you know, I mean, I was definitely holding him up. There's no doubt about it. But there's, you know, ways to pass. And, hey, I've been there before. I moved guys. And, you know, I was really more concerned he was going to spin me out. So, you know, I was just telling him I'd like him to pass me on the straightaway, get a run on me. I mean, he had such a good car. And we had a great car there at times. And we just lost the handling on there at the end. We just got way too tight. And, you know, I'm probably just more frustrated that we weren't able to keep up with those front guys more than anything else.
He seemed to not appreciate you telling him that.
Well, you know, the thing is, it's a top 5 for him, and that's a great job for him. I mean, you know, he hasn't seen top 5, and you know, it's just when you get more experience racing with the guys up front, you know, you do things a little bit different. And I saw him in my mirror; he was all over the place. And you know, if he could just calm down and been smooth, he would have had me no problem.
This was the kind of day that exactly what the 24 team wanted. They finished 5th. Dave?
With Dale Earnhardt Jr. now, who finished 3rd, you seem pretty happy about it, and you patted your car.
I was actually telling my guys that thanks, because they worked so hard. Friday was really, really hot here, and our car was not very fast. That's the hardest I've seen them work in the heat like that. And I just told them, man, you know, that's motivation for me, and I tried to do what I could on the racetrack. Our pit stops tonight were the best they've ever been, and I mean that outright. I mean, that's obvious. We gained spots every stop, and Tony Jr. made some great calls as far as when to pit, when not to pit, and that got us up toward the front. So got to thank DEI and, you know, our engine shop has a great motor, and Tony Jr., our whole team, everybody worked back home, Cram, everybody building the cars. That was a great race car. You boys came to Bristol, and they worked really hard and turned a pile of crap into a pretty decent race car. So I don't know, it wasn't that good Friday, but today it was great, and I owe it all to Tony Jr., the whole team, man. They did everything.
They moved themselves up in the top 10 as well, Bill.
Thanks, Dave. The first night race at Bristol was 28 years ago tonight, August 26, 1978. Cale Yarborough started 4th and 1. Tonight, Matt Kenseth started 4th and 1. Here's Alan Bester.
Little fireworks, little celebration of a win in the night race at Bristol. Well, Matt, congratulations. 2 in a row, 3 in a row, really, if you count last night's Busch Series race. You did not lead a lot of laps in this until late in the race. Were there any concerns in the middle part you could get to the front?
I didn't think we had quite the car today, honestly. I thought Jeff Burton had everybody covered, but once we did get to a lead, you know, even though it's a half-mile track, clean air helped my car. And the 5 would have beat us out of pits, he would have won, and these guys did it for me again. So I got to thank DeWalt and Ford and Carhartt, USG Sheetrock, Renai Water Heaters, all my sponsors for this. It's awesome, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome to win here 2 in a row.
I was just going to ask you to describe the feeling of getting out of the car here before this crowd and winning this race here.
The last 2 weeks has been unbelievable. I mean, we've been able to win a couple races in the Busch race, and it's so awesome to win here at Bristol. It's so special. So I want to say hi to my mom, and I want to say hi to Ross. And Ross and my dad were here last year. I wish they were here for this one, too. This was a pretty cool race.
You have clinched your place in the chase for the next L Cup. You came into this race looking for momentum for that chase. You have it now with 2 wins in a row?
Well, we have it, but it can be lost at any time, you know. So this is really important. You know, the guys are operating at championship level, and I was worried about going to the chase and not running good. And this is what it's about. Bring your best piece and go there and try to win some races. And, you know, if we can go into the chase like this, we'll have a shot at that championship. But there's a lot of teams that are running awful good right now, and man, it sure feels good to win here. It's just an unbelievable feeling.
All right, congratulations.
All right, thank you.
Matt Kenseth wins the night race at Bristol for a 2nd year in a row.
Thank you, Alan. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth have clinched a spot in the 2006 chase for the championship. Back down to Marty.
Well, let's talk to Scott Riggs about that little talk with Jeff Gordon that you had. What was going on there?
Nothing. I was just trying to tell him good job, good race. Just proud of all the guys. Everybody on this Valvoline Stanley Tools Dodge has done a great job all year. And, you know, we're a new team, and we're just trying to prove ourselves. And finally had a good car and got some breaks and had great pit stops all night and great calls in the pits. Rodney Childers and Kevin Kidd did a good job in the pits and got us up there and had a good finish. You know, just proud of everybody that helps out. Auto Value Bumper to Bumper, those guys are here this weekend. So just want to say thanks to everybody. Everybody in the engine shop, everybody in the fab shop at Everham Motorsports doing a great job. And we need a good finish like that. I tried to tell Jeff good job, and he just had his lip poked out about it. You know, I don't know. He's a champion, so he go back and think about it. You know, I didn't dump him. I didn't turn him around, so he'll be okay.
All right, Scott Riggs finishes 4th, best finish of the season, Dave.
Marty seated on the pit wall with Kyle Busch, the 2nd place finisher. Tough place out there, especially when you have an early problem that puts you back to 31st.
Yeah, it was kind of an issue for us, but none too bad where we couldn't come over or get it over with. But it was a great run by the whole Kellogg Chevrolet team. They did an awesome job for me, and to rebound from that and come back with a strong run, finish second, that just shows dividends to not only the team but the cars they prepared for me. So that was cool. I wish we could have got to Kenseth there at the end. That would have been a heck of a show probably, but there have been plenty of door dings and everything else out there. I'm not sure I could have done it clean, so I'm probably glad I didn't get there really. But congratulations to those guys. They had an awesome car. I mean, class of the field 2 years in a row. What more could you really ask for,
Great second place run for Kyle Busch. Matt?
Dave, unofficially, Carl Edwards 13th in the championship standings, well over 250 points. That's a huge hill to try to climb out with just 2 races to go.
Yeah, but that won't stop this Office Depot team from learning everything we can for the rest of the season, going out having a good time and trying to win races. And just got to thank all the fans for being behind us and Office Depot for what they're doing with the kids back to school. But congratulations to Matt, and I had a good time tonight.
Are you an overanalyzer in a way where you look back to the season and look at different places where you could have improved, or maybe you made a mistake that you wish you hadn't?
I'm not an overanalyzer, but I'll tell you what, I definitely have looked at all the things we did to lose points this year, and I've learned from it. I feel like we're kind of being tested in a lot of different ways, and if we can keep our heads on straight and go out and do the best we can every week and learn from our lessons, we're going to be a tough team to compete with in the future.
Solid top 10 finish tonight, 7th here in Thunder Valley.
Thanks, Matt. A celebration at Bristol, winning the night race, an evening those guys will never forget. And neither will that one. Matt Kenseth. The road to the Nextel Cup in 2006 follows the 17 car for now. The Sharpie 500 live from the Bristol Motor Speedway on TNT is brought to you by Sharpie, right out loud. By Harley Davidson, it's time to ride. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of NASCAR. And by Allstate, official insurance sponsor of NASCAR. Matt Kenseth is the race winner. He's in the chase in 2006, and so is Jimmy Johnson, and Alan is with him.
At the very beginning of our broadcast tonight, Bill, Jimmy told us this was a get-through-it night. You got through it and clinched your place in the chase. Some thoughts on Bristol tonight?
That's great news. I felt like we did, but I wasn't sure. We took care of business tonight. It wasn't anything pretty. It wasn't anything overly racy, up there fighting for the win, but stayed out of trouble, took care of the race car, and did what we needed to do tonight. So I'm proud of the Slows team. Good effort for us. We'll go on to Fontana. I think it'll be a good race for us.
All right, Jimmy, 10th place tonight. Congratulations.
He gets to go home to California. His wife, Shani. Here are the championship standings. 2 races to go before the cutoff. Johnson and Kenseth are in. Kevin Harvick has got a good shot. But I'll tell you, from 4th to 10th, separated by just 48 points. Now, when you go here, Casey Kane, Greg Biffle, and Carl Edwards, the only drivers still mathematically eligible. Everybody 14th on back, locked out. The drama of NASCAR continues next weekend from the California Speedway in Fontana. Busch Series racing Saturday on TNT, and the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series on NBC next Sunday. That's a 7 o'clock Eastern time on Sunday, beginning with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Next on TNT, don't miss Ice Cube in Torque. Matt Kenseth wins at Bristol, 2 before the chase. We'll see you from California next week. Kenseth wins the Sharpie 500.